Hello there, everybody. Good time zone to all as you're joining us once again with the chaotic and delightful players here as part of Plains of Providence, a quest RPG campaign being run in a homebrew setting of my own creation in the world of Agni. So, for those of you tuning in, welcome. And for those of you who have never actually tuned in before, also welcome. I am Angela. I will be playing the GM role here, the guide, where I will be essentially helping facilitate chaos for these individuals who are my players, which will mean my job is very easy if you have been watching any of our previous sessions and episodes. But so quickly, going to go around the table. Just folks say who you are, pronouns, and also who you're playing. Just very quick. And if you want to give the role, just someone start us off. I'm going to assume it will end up being Jen by default.
Cool. Hi, guys. My name is Jen, pronouns she, her. I will be playing our lovely, currently local naturalist, Serena, um, who is our lovely, friendly naturalist who is sometimes friendly when she wants to be.
Next up.
That will be me. Hi everyone, I am Jace, my pronouns are they, them, and I am playing Farron Wildwood, who's the party ranger.
And Assassin's Creed enthusiast.
Oh, definitely.
Apparently. All right, next up.
Okay, guess I'll go next. Hi everyone. It's me, Inez, she, her pronouns, and I will be playing Haurian, or How for short. The fighter, buff elf, friendly person type thing that also uses she, her pronouns.
Alrighty, and last but certainly not least, Gabriel. You should unmute yourself.
Yeah, I should do that.
I was like, I saw you about to talk, and I was like, wait.
Hi, I'm Gabriel. My pronouns are they, them, or a air. I'm currently playing Nim, or Nimin Isla, the party's sometimes capable invoker.
Alrighty, that is our entire party, and as I said before, I am Angela, she, her pronouns. I'll be playing the guide, who will be facilitating and describing all of the world here that this whole group is currently navigating through. And so, before we get into anything else, I'm trying to do better by giving a general set of content warnings at the top of the session before we get into the recap, so folks have a sense of what to expect. So there is potential for, fungi, at least mentions, if not direct instances of death, definite potential for violence and things of that sort. I'm trying to think, no crustaceans, plant life, if you have any sort of hiccups around that. And I believe that covers most of it. We've moved past some of the previous content warnings that should cover most of the things that are involved for today's session. But if anything else comes up, I will let folks know. But those are the immediate ones that come to mind, mainly fungi, death, and violence. Never particularly gory in description, but let folks know that this is a system that does have combat, and we will be starting in the midst of that. So depending on what the players choose to do, this may or may not go swimmingly. But with that out of the way, with players reintroduced back into the fold, we will get started with Session 5, or as I like to refer to them, Episode 5, Woods and Whispers. So, jumping back into the scenario, we recap what the party has dealt with so far. The party, having come to the northern region of Chantico and become aware of mysterious and somewhat unsettling and frightening individuals seemingly pulled from the outer realms of the cosmological map and as well as the far realms. Creatures known as astral ravagers and those who seem to be from a bygone era of time, a previous kindling of the divine bird's life cycle. The party now investigates and attempts, as of late, to stop them from enacting whatever devious plans they may be up to. Mentions of danger in the primeval garden, a forest home, from which Serena and Farron nearby hail from. Close enough, we'll call it there. But not only that, but the mountains from which Howdian hails. Both of these locations seem to be sites of planned malevolence and potentially danger for the inhabitants there. So the party is chosen through the help of very apparently attractive NPCs to make their way over to the Primeval Garden as their first location to investigate, searching for a temple to Zahara, the primeval maiden and the deific guardian of the woods themselves. Taking some time outside of the forest to signal and seek the aid of a potential local ranger, the party has gained the attention of at least one individual and another that they are unaware of. Navigating through the forest, dodging natural terrain difficulties and such, they have made their way to a pond. Unfortunately, losing a rather tanky and buff elf along the way due to an unfortunate teleporting mishap. But the party ended the previous session by having arrived at this massive pond and two of the party members becoming mesmerized by a strange horse-like creature who, beneath the water of this massive pond, has begun summoning up tendrils of seaweed that are beginning to close in on both our naturalist and our ranger. While Nim, seeing this and having personal reasons for avoiding the water, has turned back to see that a massive shambling creature composed entirely of vines and flora is slowly but surely making its way towards the group. That is where we ended last session, but we will pull back a tiny bit and we will actually be starting with Howdian. Howdian, the last thing you recall during this previous session was making your way, stepping through this portal from which you saw Callista, the autumn emissary to the land of the Fae, having allowed a seedling with vines to erupt up and create and spread out roots in the space in which the world exists, and cause a tear within the plains to open up and allow you to move through a somewhat warm and very humid passageway, a tunnel from which the very walls are composed of vines and plant life. But as you went along this pathway, you found one of the vines pulled you away, and you found yourself careening from the air downwards and landing in a patch of beautiful flowers, these brilliant tones of just yellows, of deep center bulb of black. You see blues and light lavenders and magenta. You see these deep sort of black with kind of pinkish tones to them, like very veiny plants. Very beautiful. If anyone's ever seen what hibiscus flowers actually look like, it's kind of that pattern. And you see that there's sparkling lights nearby, but you see none of your party members are there. What do you do?
Well, I look at the flowers and I go, oh, how nice. Beautiful. And then I jump up and I'm like, hold on. Where's everyone? Oh no, this is not good. I call for them. I'm like, Serena, Farron, Nim, where? Hello.
And as you get up and you look around you, you see what look like floating islands, like masses of sentient flowers just moving through the air. The ground around you is like a deep valley overwhelmed with flora, brilliant colors of all spectrums of the rainbow. And you see, as you call out, one of those lights that's maybe about like roughly half a meter by half a meter in terms of like width and length. Just you see a little pair of these tiny see-through wings on the back of it, and it starts flying towards you. Hey,
Listen.
this is exactly what I was about to say, actually. Hey, what are you doing here?
Well, I don't know either, actually. I just fell from there and I just poured straight up. And I'm looking for my friends. I don't know where they went.
We haven't had anyone come by here in quite a long time. Isn't
Well,
that right, Tail? Like, yeah, that's right, Tattle. And then the pair of them are just like, there's a pair of them just floating around, and they just start talking to one another. One is a brilliant yellowish kind of hue to it. The other one is a deep kind of purplish tone, and you just overhear them talking. It's like, so what do you want to do with her? It's like, I don't know. She might be kind of fun to play around with. I don't know. Do humans really understand anything about us? Nah, they're not that bright. They don't really know what to do with us. Like, so we could cause her havoc and stuff, right? It's like, yeah, we can. Yep.
hey, y'all got a green hat or something? Like, I have the pointy ears already. It's fine.
Oh, one of those who left the land of the Fae. Gotcha.
I guess, yeah. I'm not from here. That's for sure.
Oh, well, that much is clear. Your armor definitely wouldn't be. Definitely not from around here. Far too much silver in it.
Okay. Cool.
Do you fly? Do you know how to fly?
Sadly, I don't.
The two lights turn to one another. Should we? Probably. And then you feel this massive gust of wind start forming like a little mini like cyclone right beneath your feet.
Okay.
What do you do?
Interesting. I'm like, what's happening exactly? I ask them.
Oh, we're helping you fly.
Okay, I guess. And I will just like let it take the wheel.
Yeah.
I just let
you
it.
start noticing as you're going up, you don't really have a lot of control over the cyclone.
Amazing.
And one of the islands is getting much closer than you expected it to be.
Oh, hey, can I move or something? Or
oh no, this is too much fun. And you said you didn't know how to fly. We're helping.
Oh God. I guess I'll take out my sword and I'll try to like hit the mast, the landmass. Like try and hit it away.
Okay. I should
I'm
note for the
going
record
to
this.
fight the land.
Yes.
I'm just noting. Just to be aware, this is like a skyscraper in terms of its size. This is not just okay.
Exactly.
Roll me a d20 to see what happens.
I was just there like, I'm gonna fight the fucking moon.
Come on. 18. Oh shit.
So Now, you don't actually cleave the mass in two, as
No, that's
cool as
fine.
that would be.
Yeah.
But as you poke through it, as you attempt to slash it down, you just hear the sound of like a really loud balloon popping,
Hmm.
and then you notice that the landmass isn't there anymore. It looks
Oh.
as though the fairies might have been the academic way of saying it is might have been fucking with you a little bit.
Damn it. Okay.
Like,
Fairies fuck with people? Nah.
it's might have been what they were doing. They're like, you're a lot less fun than we thought you'd be.
That's what a lot of people say about me. That's fine.
Hmm. She worth bringing to Navi? Nah, probably not. Nah, let's chuck her somewhere else.
Wait, who's Navi?
Oh, you don't need to worry about that.
Okay. You know,
Take care
it's
wherever
fine.
you end up. And the cyclone, it feels like if you were the loading material in the end of a catapult.
Oh, fun. Okay.
And you see, amidst some of the land masses, you look as you're careening through the air, and you're about to hit another landmass, and you see another tear appear.
Shit. Oh.
You go headfirst through the tear,
Uh-huh.
and you land face first, and you look up, and you see there is a massive creature composed entirely of flora and vines, and there is a massive pond nearby you, and Nim is also there.
Can I roll to make a superhero landing?
Yes. Yes, this is I appreciate you so much, Inez.
Please, come on, guys. Don't. Oh no!
What did you roll?
I did roll a 1, so you know I do that
Okay.
face first.
Okay. So there would be an automatic you will not have any movement for your next turn.
That's fine.
That would be the first thing. That's the first setback. The second setback is do you want something to happen to your weapon, or do you want something to happen to your gear?
Oh, damn. That's not cool. I guess my gear, because there's something has been happened to it already, so you know, it's fine.
Your water supplies in your bag get launched like 45 feet away somewhere else into the forest. The force of the catapult pull just launch some of your things away, and you have no idea where it is. You just see it land somewhere far away, and then you just watch as a writhing mass of vines just go. That being the case, we are now going to move into an action scene as combat has begun.
Oh,
as
wonderful.
You have reunited with your party, as you see two people stunned nearby, Nim right there, and a massive mound of flora and vines approaching quite aggressively, I might add.
Technically, she does just see two party members and a crocodile.
Yeah, actually, that's
sure
true.
do.
Yeah, you see a toothless crocodile. We have to make that distinction. And both of them seem to be nearby to you. In immediate distance is Nim, and closing in on Nim is the massive creature of shambling vines and flora. So, with that being the case, we are moving into what's called an action scene. And this is for. Did I catch the chat correct in saying Thorst?
Oh yeah, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
I love you.
We were discussing the forest eating How's water stuff.
You know, that's fair.
Thorst, yes, okay.
Let them have water.
Yes. This water supply, I like it. Another.
With that being the case, we're starting off with the party, as is the case in the system. For combat, for action scenes that involve combat, the party always gets the first turns, and then all of the aggressive or enemy potential combatants will follow you. So, in terms of the situation right now, two of you are stunned. Nim, you have a turn, and Howdian, you have a turn. So, right now, Nim And Howdian, what do you do? Because right now you just see Farron is just like kind of just dazed. Like you have like a full daydreaming look on your face while you're holding onto a rope. And the crocodile is just has a very big happy smile, like like mouth open and just sort of like
I'm just like
Um,
mid like
I love.
picturing like Waters of Mirkwood right now, honestly.
So I have a question.
yes,
You said the Kelpie qualifies as nearby,
yes,
me.
it is nearby.
and I have a movement and
Yes.
action.
Yes, so what the distance categories are, something will be either immediate, nearby, in range, or too fucking far to matter. To move between any of those distance categories is one movement.
All right. Is it possible for me to scooch away from the shambling mass that's coming to get me?
Yes, you could. If you want to go closer to the Kelpie, though, I will tell you, because it matters to Nim, you have to get in the water. If you want to be closer to the Kelpie.
I don't want to.
You could be nearby to the mound, but it'd be putting you away from Howdian. You'd still be nearby to the Kelpie.
I want to be nearby to the Kelpie, not the shambling mass that probably wants my life.
Yes, you can do that.
Cool. I'm going to move slightly away from that, and then I am going to smite, which is my favorite thing to say.
What your enemies?
I would like to smite. Which is what I do.
It's not I would like to rage, it's I would like to smite.
Yes.
I would like to just tell it to go the fuck away from me.
So it's burn 5 AP. You speak a word or phrase condemning a nearby creature that you can see. You engulf the target in radiant flame. It's going to be gay. Hitting it for 10 hit points. So Nim is just going to look over at the Kelpie and be like, could you just not?
The Kelpie is absolutely disintegrated.
Oh, I was expecting that to not work exactly that way, but okay.
Also, Nim, I need you to roll me a d20 real quick.
Yeah, I do.
Oh.
There is a potential very bad thing that follows.
I'm aware.
Depending on what happens with your roll. It's very unlikely, but we'll see.
At least it's a Kelpie and not the other Scottish nope horse.
Nope horse?
Yeah, I'm not saying its name. It's terrifying. It starts with an N. You can look up Scottish folklore. It's horrifying.
Just that you said nope horse. It's just that's good to me. That's good.
I actually rolled a 20 and not a 1 on my heartbeat dice.
Good. So, Nim, what I'll describe is as you invoke the word, you and the creature is disintegrated. It gets one last look at you, and you feel for a moment like its very essence begins to try and creep towards you and linger longer. But your sheer force of will just basically repels it entirely.
Not today, horrific folklore creature.
Wish I could do that with customers.
I know.
Not today,
I just
horrific
feel like
creature or the repel.
The repel. Mostly the repel.
Okay.
But like I'm also more than happy to just be like, can you not?
I would like to smite in IRL. That would be cool.
God, that's delightful.
But with that being the case, the Kelpie is entirely destroyed. Unfortunately, Serena and Farron, you still find yourselves like incapacitated.
That sucks.
You now just have like a floating croc, and Farron just kind of sliding
The croc
down the
definitely
roof.
looks like it's on a really nice trip.
It's having a good time, you know.
Howdian,
Like a holiday, or are they high?
Yes, they're high on
Yes,
holiday.
yes, yes. That is all I will not give you a straight answer on that. I never really
And it
try and
involves
get
Quasi,
straight
do
it
you ever give a
involves
straight
skydiving.
answer?
Thank you. I'm glad my players already understand me so well. But with that being the case, the Kelpie is destroyed, but Howdian, it is your turn. You now see this lumbering mass coming towards you only because you are the closest thing to it.
Amazing. Awesome. Cool. Remind me about abilities. Can I use only one every turn?
You have an action, which that's basically it's one move. So yes, one ability per turn per round.
So I can either spend my AP to do something or attack or do another thing. Or
Yes,
or
if there's something else in the environment that you want to try and do something to interact with, we can also create a roll, have you roll to try and do something with that. Because right now the environment is this massive pond that was flanked on each side by giant rotting logs that were blocking the main path. One of the logs has been torn through entirely as the mount has just crashed through and is starting to go for Nim. But now that Nim has gone away, it is going for you.
Awesome. I will use my ability called Size Up, which is 0 AP, so which basically gives me useful insight into their capabilities, strength, vulnerabilities, and or resistances.
Okay, size up. So you notice that, so yes, it will give you insight into capabilities, strengths, vulnerabilities, and resistances. The creature, its abilities, what this entails is that you notice from the center of the sham of the mound, there is what looks to be a mouth that looks like it's beginning to open up, like it's trying to devour something. That's the first thing. The second thing you notice, there is, as it walks through the ground, there is this little fungi, this tiny little mushroom that looks like it emits electrical energy. And as the vines pass through it, it jolts around the body and more vines begin to coalesce around it. It seems to not be phased at all by anything electrical or thunderous.
Okay.
So you notice that, and let me see, is there anything major else? Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty much everything about it. And you would know that it being a much bigger creature, it tends to be a lot more tanky, and it can, not always, but it can hit harder. Some variants of bigger creatures hit harder than smaller creatures, or at the very least they hit more times.
Okay. And does it seem to only be attacking with the mouth, or does it also have like...
You see, like, as it's, imagine sort of almost like hunched over, like, think like the body shape of like an ape on all fours, but it's vines and flora with the central area where a head might be. There's just a slowly growing mass of vines to create a mouth that's opening up.
Cool, awesome, amazing. I love it. And so me being face down, I just like kind of slowly get up. And I have my weapon in my hand because I was, attacking landmass earlier. And I just like get up, and I look over to my friends and I like, hey, also, this thing, it doesn't, it's okay with electrical attacks, so don't do that. And it's bigger, so it probably hits harder, which, I mean, look at me, I do too. So um that's it. Thanks. I'll talk to y'all in a second after I get eaten.
I will say this, Howdian, roll me a d20.
Okay.
The level of success on this will determine if both or one of your allies potentially get woken up. Because you took the time to call out to them.
These, oh my god. Okay, it's a 2, so
Unfortunately, it doesn't. And now the creature that could at this time, it was focusing on you because it was closer, but now it seems to be very annoyed by your voice, and now it is focusing exclusively on you.
Hey, you know what? At least it doesn't focus on my friends. Well, so I just like get ready and I'm like, come at me. Ah.
Alrighty. So, with that being the case, it comes to the mound's turn. The
Cool.
mound just opens up its mouth, its vine mouth, and Nim, Howdian's gone. Howdian is entirely consumed by the creature.
It's like that scene in Pirates of the Caribbean where
Pretty much.
Johnny Depp is just like, hello. And it's just like devours.
Now, this is essentially what it will do to you until someone takes the time, or until you take the time to try and free yourself successfully. You will have disadvantage on anything you try and do, and it can use its turn to try and crush you, or to start crushing you rather. It can only do this once per scene, but basically you don't want to be consumed by this because it gets really bad very quickly.
Oh, okay, fun, cool.
And Nim is the only one who's fully conscious right now. God damn it, Nova! I saw that lettuce joke in the chat. Don't think I didn't notice. As Nim, as after you watch and see Howdian being consumed, you also look nearby on the edges of the pond, and you see a humanoid shape beginning to form out of nearby vines. And you watch as it just like sinks into the ground after it's formed, and then it appears in the middle of the water, right next to Serena and Farron. And as it does this, it is going to lash out at, let's roll a d20 to see which one of you it goes for. 1 to 10, it goes for Serena. 11 to 20, it goes for Jace.
Rolls a 0.
It rolls a 12, so it's going for your archer, your archer.
Ooh.
And I'm going to say, because you are still currently conked out right now, it will get advantage for this roll. So it will take the higher of the 2 d20 rolls that it gets. So
I would like to cast Nope.
unfortunately, it cannot.
That's essentially what Nim cast earlier. I'm casting Nope. That's Nope.
Yep. In this case, yep. The creature, its body, like segments of it, like splits in half, and its interior just lashes out with vines and just slaps all across your body and like pounds you repeatedly. You would take 2 damage from that hit.
I mean, I'm used to taking a pounding. It's fine.
It's like
I was waiting for that.
Those 3 of us simultaneously dropped our heads to the ground. But because you have now been hurt, Farron, you are woken up out of what felt like a lovely dream, just absolutely wonderful. And now you see the terrifying vine creature just right there, and it's just like...
Fuck.
And it is the top of the round for the player side. Players, Serena, no one has done anything to help you, so you are still stuck just as a croc.
Just a very sad, very high croc.
Yep. And Howdian...
Does throwing a rock at Serena count as an action?
Yeah, I'm gonna say you have to take the time to do that.
At Nova's suggestion, I would like to take a free action to cry on the inside.
Allowed. You're crying on the inside.
Crocodile tears.
I'm going to make a quick dumbass roll to see what Farron's going to do.
Oh, God. I both love this, but also I worry when you do this.
We're going to shimmy like we never shimmied before up the rope.
Okay, so yeah, you'll be nearby to the creature.
Mhm.
It won't be in immediate range anymore to you. All right, so Farron is shimmying up the rope and leaving Serena with the creature. Are you doing anything else? Because right now, Howdy and Nim figure out what you're going to do. But Farron, are you doing anything else with your action? Because that was just your movement.
Am I allowed to take a shot?
Yeah. There's
Okay.
no like disadvantage with being in immediate range to it. It's just generally better in the system to be farther away because once things
Yeah.
get close to you, it's really easy for them to catch up to you.
Also, I'm now just there. It's like I'm gonna have to pull some dexterous BS right now, as I just like need to like wrap my legs around the rope enough that I'm like hooked into it, and just lean back and aim down with the bow and fire.
Give it a shot. Roll a d20 to see. And who are you firing at? Are you firing at the shambling vines or at the vine humanoid? There's two creatures right now menacing your party.
I mean, I think I would have noticed the vine person before I would have noticed, the dangerous spinach. So
Carry on.
is it 15?
Yes, that will last through. And you notice that this time with the arrow, there's a sure shot that lands on it. It begins doing the split again, but this time it does not seem to be like of its own accord. It looks like that's starting, like if you're imagining like sutures or like a quilt with like actually sewing things together, the bindings are starting to unravel. It's looking already very uneasy.
Ooh. So yes, I'm now hanging upside down on a rope.
Yes, I may have to ask you for something in relation to that later. But Howdy and Nim, what do you do? Nim, you just saw Howdy and be consumed. Howdy and you are currently being consumed.
Fun. I love it. So a question. So I have this thing called Blink, which makes me teleport to a location of my choice nearby. But do I have to see that location?
If it doesn't specify, you don't.
It does not. So I'm like being crushed, and then I'm like, wait, and then I just, and then I kind of blink out of it. It probably is distressed by having an empty stomach, but I get out. I'm out, fam. Yep.
It's strange. There's a moment where as you do it, it's almost like a little burst of like if you imagine a roaring flame suddenly being snuffed out, it's like and then just disappear into another spot.
Mm-hmm. I want to appear behind the creature.
You can.
Not in front of it.
Yes,
and
you
be
are outside
very
the creature
quiet
now. Yes,
when I land.
And that requires no sort of roll. You just have to use your action to get out of it. But the creature is now kind of thoroughly confused. Like it knows you're nearby. You're near to it because it says nearby.
Yeah, it says nearby.
Yeah, so you're about the same equivalent distance that Nim is now. But Nim, you just see Howdy and just pop right into existence next to you.
Uh-huh. Oh, it says it leaves a gentle gust of wind when I vanish. Awesome.
Someone in chat saying that is how you cast Nope.
Yes, indeed. That is
assuredly how you cast Nope in that situation. But yeah, you pop out of it.
Amazing.
Nim, what are you doing? Well, actually, if you wanted to move any more, that was just your action. If you wanted to move even farther away from the fray, but it's up to you.
Yes, please. I would like to.
Or if you wanted to get into the water to try and help out Serena. Those are two options.
I don't know. There's another creature there, right?
Yeah, it's already looking kind of rough, though.
Oh.
Like you can see it's struggling to keep its like vine humanoid shape together.
Amazing. I will go into the water and I'll stand right in front of the crocodile, which I assume to be Serena, because I don't see any crocs nearby, so I just assume that the one croc I see.
You know what? Fair. All right. That comes to Nim's turn. Nim, what you doing?
So, adventuring gear with rope. If I decide to make my rope into a lasso, can I then make it catch on fire? And by that, I mean, can I cast a spell that qualifies it as a weapon?
I'm gonna say yes. It's your call.
Okay, lasso of truth, folks.
Bear in mind, you're casting a fiery thing in a forest near rotting wood.
That's fair, but also it's not like actual. It's the same spell that I used to make my hammer catch on fire.
That's true.
And also, technically we are by water right now, so it would mostly be moist.
Wet. Yeah, so it would be very wet. Good point.
Yeah.
I was just thinking that one through and I was like, yeah, but it's also wet, so it probably wouldn't catch very easily either. So fair point.
So how is going for the creature in the water?
Looks like it. How is putting herself in position to defend Serena at the very least.
She does look very menacingly at the creature in the water, like with her weapon in her hand. She's like looking up at the creature in the water. So
Name's just like, if you see a nope horse, run.
Okay. Sure.
And then is going to tie a lasso and get how close would I have to be to throw it at the big
I'd say
viney?
nearby, so you could probably
Okay.
do it from where you're at.
Cool. So I'm gonna do that. I'm going to cast and throw the thing, hopefully
Okay.
around its head or upper body.
Okay, roll d20, see if it's successful. Because I have several ideas for how this could go awry.
That's always wonderful to hear a GM say.
There is no like downtime for the GM in this system. It is a lot of GM burn for Quest. It is worthwhile to me, but it's a lot of GM burn.
Okay. I have to use 1 AP for my lovely lasso of truth.
Now roll that d20, see what happens.
So what's a 14?
14 is a success. So you manage to land it, and it deals now. Say, are you trying to inhibit its movements in some way, or are you trying to deal
I am
damage
trying to lasso it and then pull it in half.
Okay, we'll put that under the category of damage. So that is
3. It should be 3 damage with the
right. Because it's a normal weapon, so it does normal too, but it has the ability on it. So yeah, so that is Nim's turn.
I currently have a golden fiery lasso around a vine thing.
Serena, you feel amidst the water, there's another crocodile in there with you.
There's another who what now?
There's another crocodile in there with you.
No, there isn't. I say no thank you.
But you watch as it like goes up, and in your stupor, your face goes to it, and it just kind of like it swings its tail around, and it doesn't hurt you, but it like smacks you awake. It seems to be trying to help you.
That's sweet. I cast yes, please, and thank you.
But that is happening in the midst of the enemy's turn, because I'm treating the crocodile NPC as among the enemy's initiative. But right now, the mound, I'm going to roll to see which one it wants to go for. Well, actually, no, it's going to go for Nim. Nim is just lassoed it with divine fire. So it's just
Sometimes you just gotta,
And it's going to make its 2 attacks on Nim. Hello, friends. So that is a 15 and a 6. So one of those will land. So Howdian, you hear from behind you as just as a like fist of hardened vines just goes and like punches Nim across the face, and then it follows up.
More like face and upper shoulder. They're small.
Yeah, pretty much. Nim is not very big. That's true. And this thing is at least like 10 to 14 feet in size. So it goes with the second fist, and it does land. So that's another 2 points of damage. But in doing so, I will let you impose something happens to the creature, I will let you impose how it gets disadvantaged, because it rolled a 6, so it gets a tough choice. It does the damage, but I'm letting you pick what inhibits it for its next turn. It could be something about the environment. It could be something about its abilities.
I'm going to say it does hit, but Nim gets the lasso around its arm, so now it is restrained.
Okay, when it tries to attack next time, it will be doing so at disadvantage. So its next attack will not be as easy for it to land. But that is the two creatures, the two currently available creatures' turns. It is now back to the top, and you all hear a voice call out, "I would hurry up and deal with them quickly. More are going to be coming." And you see coming in from far away a very tall, somewhat anxious, but still relatively charming looking lizard folk coming through the forest with a bow on his back, and there's a blade at his side. The whole party is awake right now, has their faculties. Who's doing what?
I'm a dead-eye the bitch that just attacked Nim. Ain't attacking my friend and getting away with it, just...
So that is are you spending for the auto-critical?
I am spending for the auto-crit.
So it's like you wait for it as it looks like it's trying to round up for another hit on Nim, and you see there is a knot of vines right around where its shoulder would be, and it looks like it starts spending its time trying to reform the arm. And you just hear sound. It is not enjoying it, and it's starting to show some wear and tear. But Howdian... Oh, wait, I almost forgot about the Vine Blight. The Vine Blight was just going to take an attack on Serena, so it'll do that, but everyone else's turns just go through. Actually, Howdian is who it'll take the attack, because Howdian got in the way.
I was about to say.
Which is a success. While its vines it's trying to like sew itself together with its vines, it leans into being split apart, and it wraps around you, and it just does a like double like punch of its vine-like hands. So you take 2 damage, Howdian.
Got it.
And then it reforms, but it still looks very shaky. Like,
okay.
It is still like not. It's looking pretty rough, is what I'm saying. But okay. Serena, you're up. Howdian, you're up. Nim, you're up.
Mm-hmm.
Farron, you're taking your turn. Croc.
How far from this very sad, shivering mound am I?
You are nearby to it, so if you used 1 movement, you could get away from the vine humanoid that's been menacing you and get right up to the creature.
Okay, we're gonna start by dealing with the big boy. So I'm going to use my movement to get up by the creature, and then I'm going to hit it. Like you're gonna I think the camera sees like the mouth start to open and then snap shut, and the claw goes for it.
It's like, I will fight you. Wait, I don't have teeth. Shit.
As serena remembers that she does not in fact have teeth.
If I have it restrained, does that give Serena advantage?
I will say it will. I'll let you pick. Do you want? It will lose the restraint after this, but if you want to instead make it be Serena has advantage to this, I will let you have that. I'll let you pick one or the other.
What's the other one?
The other one is it will make its attacks at disadvantage.
No, I'm giving Serena advantage on this. Let's try to down it.
So
there's a moment where Nim pulls back, and the mount is just like.
And then I will take a swipe with my claws. Wow, I rolled an 18 and a 19. That's a hit.
So that is hit.
It takes 3 damage.
Yep, I knew it was a little bit more damage in your turn. It's starting to look hurt, like pretty hurt. It is not as hardy as it was when it first arrived.
Love it. I just like turn and like give Nim like a big toothless smile. I'm just like.
But it's an extended mouth too, so it's like.
Yep. It's like
Okay.
those things.
Amazing.
So Howdian and Nim, you two are left before your croc friend tries to also help out as well.
Mm-hmm. Yes. So we made the ability Rage of the Fire Lily.
Yes.
How much AP was that again?
I believe we put it at only like 1 or 2, which
Two, I
lets you
think.
take like another attack, I think is what we decided.
Uh-huh.
I forget.
Yeah. So another attack indeed. So I would indeed like to do that so that I get 2 attacks. So Farron is right above me, right?
Farron is above you. Farron
Yeah.
is nearby to you, hanging essentially, as Chad has stated, Cirque du Soleil
Yes.
from the trees.
Oh,
and taking-
very much. Yes.
So,
So
your call.
he basically sees
They.
me just like, oh, they basically see me just like "Rah!" and then just like my hair just like goes up in flames, as do like my eyes, and I just start hacking at the creature. Okay, 2 attacks.
Yeah.
Did you happen to eat something too spicy?
No. No, I did not. No, I did not.
Farron,
Come
I
on.
would say the hair, Howdian's hair is very reminiscent of what you've heard from probably Dad or someone else of what a fire giant should look like.
So I rolled a 9 and a 5.
So you get a tough choice and a failure. So there will be, you don't get to do what you want, and you get a minor setback. And then but who are you attacking? Are you attacking the vine humanoid?
Yes, the one that's
Okay.
right in front of me. That's looking bad.
Okay. So with doing that, your sword cleaves through the creature entirely. Like it just finishes it off, but in its last sort of death throes, it latches onto your blade and it pulls the blade out of your hand.
Damn it.
But and the other attack puts you in a situation if you try and go to follow up with the second attack towards the mound because you have the movement to do it. I will let you decide what would you like to be the issue that comes up because your attack does not go through and you put yourself in a worse condition.
Okay. How about while I'm like trudging through the water to like try to get my second attack, my boot just gets stuck like in like some vines or whatever, or in the remains of the kelpie or whatever.
Yep.
Maybe that's the deal.
Yeah. So you will be right in front of this shambling creature, and you will have no movement next turn. And also your walking gear will be soaked through entirely while you're trying to get through this forest.
Damn it. Okay. Cool.
So
no
that
water
was-
supplies, soaked walking gear, no sword. We love it.
It's a good day for Howdian right now.
Yes, very,
But-
very good.
Farron has taken their turn. Serena has clawed across this mound creature. Howdian has now suffering every backpacker's worst nightmare in a forest. And Nim, you're up because you still have your turn to take before the crocodile friend tries to help you out.
Cool. I just want to pull this thing in half.
Okay, roll d20 to see if you can literally stretch this thing in half.
I mean, I have it lassoed in 2 places, I think, around this part and then around its arm. So yeah,
so
I'm just
give it a shot.
D20.
I'm very sorry to Sam King has found you for
Oh,
describing the story of your life. I'm sorry, chat.
11.
It's fine. Sammy's used to being read to filth.
11 is just barely a success.
Oh, okay. I thought that was.
It's 11 to 19 is a success range. So you do the 3 damage. The creature is not in a good state. Like there's whole sections that are, to use a word I rarely get to use, sloughing off of the creature. It's just like, it's sound of like whenever it's like squelching noises whenever your boots like go over like very muddy terrain.
Just need to get this thing enchanted so everyone who's tied up has to tell the truth, and I'll have a lasso of truth if I make it out of this.
And it comes to the enemy's turn. However, you watch as from far away as the creature like starts like trying to recompose like compose itself once again and lash out with two of its massive vine fists at Nim. You see right at the center of its mass an arrow comes flying through, and the creature just and it falls apart entirely with the last bit of like Nim pulling on it. It just splits apart into shreds, and the mound creature is gone. And Serena, you see sort of smiling with a toothy grin right next to you, the crocodile friend. It's just sort of like,
Oh my goodness! I'm going
And-
to give it a little nose boop.
and then Farron. So Serena, as you look at the croc as your croc friend, you see its face gets startled, like starts growing very terrified. And Farron, you see from your vantage point up above, there are two more mounds coming in the distance, and there it looks as though there is a small horde of vine humanoids that seem to be attracted by the thunderous force with which the smite was cast earlier.
I think the fuck not.
Quick question. Would I be able to carry my 3 friends away from here?
I will say probably
Probably
one of
not Howdian.
Not Howdian for certain.
Nim's
But,
Nim's like 4'10" on a good day.
And also, I am in trees.
Cool.
You see, as you hear from a distance, and you're able to see him a little bit more clearly. There's a bipedal gator lizard folk, a very long snout, lots of rows of teeth, and he looks as though he's got various pelts of a lot of different creatures, some leather armor, and he looks as though you can smell nearby, somewhere probably in the vicinity of his person, fish. Like there's a bag of fresh fish that's been caught recently. I would suggest getting a move on, everyone. I would suggest this fervently, please. And you see him like just dash, and he seems to just swim very quickly through the water, and he pulls Howdian up out of her stuck situation. Okay, we need to go now.
Okay,
Nim's
so
not losing that rope.
they are protective and they are like strong enough to slam me into a wall. I am in.
Exactly.
Are you in or are you into it?
Him,
Yes.
yes.
It's like
Aren't they a crocodile?
Que no los dos.
They're lizardful. I'm gonna
Lizard
decroc,
folk.
so I can effectively communicate with our new friend.
Yeah. See, Alvin, let's get going. And you see
Yep,
the
let's go.
croc just sort of turns, and it just sort of like nods its head very fervently, and then
Oh, baby.
like you just see like after this individual comes in, I'm Lorenzo. More pleasantries exchanged. Please run now. I would suggest it now.
yeah. Farron's back
Yeah.
up the rope and is now doing his Assassin's Creed bit.
Is through the water the only way to get away?
It might. You see him trying to like start climbing and parkouring his way up the rotted branches and vine and logs that have blocked the side parts.
Oh boy.
Wait, we have to climb.
Okay.
Right now,
Mhm.
I need to know what each of you are doing to try and get away from this group, because you see it's just like, think zombie apocalypse but vine humanoids in terms of swarm coming towards you. What are you doing? What is your means of escape, or how are you trying to get away?
My middle name is Ezio, so
Go on, dude. Go on. Okay. I want to try and pick up my sword first.
Okay.
If I can. So
Yes.
I'll just like try and like get it loose, and I'm like debating on giving it a final, and then I see that things, and I turn around and bolt.
This will delay you a little bit in relation to the rest of the party to
That's
get the
fine.
sword. And you see that you're able to spot that Lorenzo
Mhm.
is also like he's hanging back, and you notice he's keeping an eye on you the entire time.
Mm-hmm.
And he
Okay.
looks as though he's pulling out something from it. Looks as though he's got a couple of pouches around his waist. He looks as though he's pulling out something.
Okay. Well, if I can like get my sword and then spend an AP to blink, then I will be good.
Yeah. Okay. So Howdian is blinking, and y'all are just like hoofing it somewhere in another direction.
Trying to
Serena?
not step in the water.
All right.
Yeah.
So you're gonna try and like climb and get away around, or is Serena gonna try and help you? What are the rest of y'all
Oh,
doing?
if I have help, that might be good. But
Okay. I will turn into, I think, well, I'm back in human form. I'm going to shift into a panther.
Ooh.
And then using my 3 AP and telepathically say, "Get on."
All right. And Farron is trying to Assassin's Creed across. So I will need either Serena or Nim to roll me a d20 to determine the overall success of you trying to climb and get your way out of there. Farron, I need a d20 to see how well you're able to navigate across the treetops and such and branches without either A, drawing attention, or B, falling down.
18.
You're good.
Swamp
You
D20. Let's see what happens. 17.
Okay. It's a little heavy because Nim's armor is just it's a lot of armor, so it's a lot to work with, but you just see and Howdian, right as you go to blink, Lorenzo says, I'll see if I can distract them. And he pulls out of his bag. It looks as though he has like a little like bottle, like a glass bottle. He uncorks it and he hucks it in the direction of the vine humanoids, and you watch as a fog cloud just appears in the midst of all of them. Okay, good. Time to run. And he just starts like he leaps into the pond water and he's just swimming his ass off across, and he's just following you all.
Damn. That's awesome.
He's using the ranger ability Shroud.
Amazing.
Because rangers have some cool shit. Or I think it might have
They
been
do.
naturalist.
Naturalist
Oh, yeah,
is
that's
fog
it, that's
cloud.
not Shroud.
Yeah, sorry, Shroud. Shroud, I think, is the one that he's using. Whichever one gives the fog cloud, I might have written down the wrong name. I think it is Shroud, is a similar ability too. But he manages to block some of the way to obscure their vision and give y'all some time to run. And it's a good like 20, 30 minutes of running. But you get to a clearing and you're able to catch your breath.
That was fun.
It was. I didn't. I couldn't. That was not fun. I don't think so. I don't think.
It could have been worse.
Quiet growling.
It could have been worse. Oh,
No one died.
true.
Yeah, that's fair. Oh, ow.
Interesting.
So
Is anybody hurt?
Yes.
I got whipped pretty good, but I'll be alright.
Oh, I forgot. Nim looks like crap.
should probably take
I'm
care
just
of
gonna
yourself
like sit
first, buddy.
down. I'm gonna sit down and like groom I'm
Just
a big cat.
grew.
I'm gonna sit
Cat
down in cat
grooms.
groom.
Okay. Actually, I'm only down to 6 hit points. That's not terrible.
Yeah, and remember, you all have during the game when you are taking some time to regroup, you have the ability to regain a total every day of 5 health if you take the time to stop and heal. And it's called regroup in the system. It's effectively akin to sort of a short rest, but the homebrew rules I've set up are instead of just you only get to go up to 5, you have 5 points to spend at any time to heal up.
That makes sense.
So, and you wouldn't get those until you sleep like a full like night's sleep.
Until you
So,
take a long rest.
essentially.
Should we stay here?
Speaking as someone who has dealt with this place for a good amount of years, my suggestion would be this is about the only chance we're going to get for a break. Because if you want somewhere safe, I might know one other clearing we can get to, but we'll have to navigate through more of the forest, or I can try and take you to my home. But we have to go through the swamp to do that. And being entirely honest, I don't know if the flycap and the kois are fighting today or not. They fight
Okay.
most days.
I think we rest here then.
All right.
Can I, like,
I'm good with that.
Can I like sniff this friend and just be like, can I get an idea of where they're from by doing a little sniff
you
sniff?
smell fish. You smell a shitload of fish, and they smell like the swamp, like heavily like the swamp. Like they've probably been there for like days.
Okay. Is there like a known community of lizard folk in the garden?
Nope. Most you don't normally see too many lizard folk living out here. Actually, you mostly see kind of more like dryad sort of folk, occasional like mountain kin folks,
Okay.
like more of the goat folks, or more of the Verbolgian types, or
Okay.
you will see more folks inclined to nature, or having more of an elemental bent. The primeval garden is home to a lot of those kind of folks, but the lizard folk don't tend to be here very often. So it's kind of a rarity to see someone who's outside of, honestly, the plains, because a lot of the plains has a good chunk of the lizard folk from what you know.
I'm gonna throw a telepathic message into my party. Basically just being like, hey, this fucker isn't from here. And it's a little weird that they are here. As I like point my nose in their direction and like very quiet growl.
I'm just gonna look down at Serena and just give the look of, well, no duh, I asked him to come here.
Yeah, you wouldn't. Yeah, it's about at this time after Serena is quietly telepathically judging your new companion that he says, so I'm gonna, and he's like taking a second to catch his breath. I'm gonna take a guess that you're the one who called me earlier.
That's right.
The one with the tree leaping one with the bow.
Yeah, that's me.
All right. Well, you can shoot. That's something. And it looks as though you have a friend over there who Alvin's already taken a shine to. So that's something.
Friend. Yeah, we'll go with friend.
Oh, well, if you're not friends, then at the very least you're gonna be friends after this.
Oh my
and if you're not,
God.
well then I wish you well.
Cat croc cuddles. What's some cat croc cuddles?
Yeah, Alvin is just sort of like,
I will groom the crocodile.
I do think we might want a little bit more cover if we're gonna rest for a while.
I'm like, hold on. Wait, hold on. You asked him to come here.
Yes. What part of that was unclear?
I mean, not
telepathically. I'm like, yeah, they shot an arrow, and there was another arrow that I'm assuming was that arrow.
Okay.
Still didn't work out what that green flare was, though.
Yeah,
We
there
know
was
it's magic.
another. There were 2 shots. There was another arrow, and then there was a greenish flare.
Definitely magic. We knew that.
Interesting.
Nim just looking confused as they coil up the golden rope.
Interesting. You know what? It's fine. Um, I think we do need some more cover. Yes.
I gotcha. And I'm gonna use Shroud.
This is why I wanted the forest to be one of your locations. I wanted to give the rangers some chance to shine.
Yep. Yes, you entreat nearby flora and fauna to provide protection when camping in wilderness. Plants must be nearby. Shrubs and vines emerge around campsites to provide concealment. This lasts until we leave. It can conceal the light of a small campfire and provides early warning from hostile forces up to 5 minutes. Creatures that push through the shroud take 1 hit point of damage.
Yep. And you just sort of
cool.
watch. Feel
That's
free to
really
describe
good.
however Farron, like if it's like something particularly magical, or if it's just literally Farron going, "Hey, going to help or not?"
He does sort of just get closer to the ground, just like kind of just like pushes down into the like earth. Kind of just get a feel for like the like innate magic of the forest and kind of attune to it for a second, and then rather than sort of tell the plants to help, he asks quite humbly, which he did like. This is the first time you've seen Farron been humble the entire time you've known him.
Like, yo, we're tired. Will you
Yeah.
please?
Farron, you hear in your head, like very softly but very clearly. Oh, how's it going, man?
Pretty good.
See you're having
Pretty
a little
good.
bit of trouble, man. Is there any way? Do you need us to like kind of cover your ground? Is this going to be all right for you?
That would be perfect if you could.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'll talk to the vines, man.
Tell it to
Everything's
grow
gonna
some weed.
be everything's gonna be all right, all right, all right, man.
Okay, so the forest is Matthew McConaughey. Good to know.
You just you just watch as it's imagine sort of like the mycelium of fungi, like the sort of like root structure beneath sort of mushroom caps and such that you don't normally see, but vines spreading across the ground, and they just sort of start blooming a little bit. And it's like very differently color tinted roses just appear in the shroud around you, with thorns jutting out to the other area. Okay, well that's helpful. I don't have to be the one to do that. Thank you.
You're welcome.
I'll have to say, this will only tide us over if you want to take a break for right now. But if we want to get somewhere a little bit safer, um, well, honestly, probably my home, or there's another clearing that I know that'll be a little bit closer to a much bigger settlement. But maybe before we get into that, what are you doing in the forest exactly?
I'm gonna take a rest. Somebody else can explain that. Nim says as they just kind of like plop against a tree and trying to fix their armor that probably has a bunch of seaweed in it now.
We're looking for the Shrine of Zahara.
Huh. Well, you're either brave or you're fools. Either way, I respect you.
I'm not sure which is more applicable right now.
Probably a little bit of column A, probably a little bit of column B.
Yep.
But that's the kind of thing you're looking for. Sad to say, I don't think I could be the one to lead you anywhere like that. As far as I knew, it was only a place of myth up until recently.
How do you mean up until recently?
Oh well, I met someone and met a couple of folks who've been there.
Could
Yours
you
like
take us to them?
Well, it depends where they're at now. As it stands, there's two folks who I know who might be able to give you some more information. At least that's what I've heard. And you see him just sort of, he has very deep, as opposed to like a gator that might have the like kind of grayish green kind of tint. He's had sort of like red orange to cherry red kind of scaly skin, and you see that kind of blushes a little bit, and he says, well, Orvi has he talks a little bit more to some of the other folks around the forest whenever he can. He doesn't always leave the house, but when he does, he's always the sociable one. And as far as I remember him last telling me, he knew about two different folks and two of the local communities here. Been a while since either communities had some new folks come in, but I'm sure they'd be open to helping you out if you go look out for either one. Last I remember, there was. I think he said something about a place called the Darrow River Pod. He said the best way you know about it is just look for a great big oak tree near it, and then he said something about someone by the name of Odysseus. I don't remember the name super well, but I think if we start heading in that direction, we could probably at least give you some help to that way. I'll probably have to get back home after not too long, but I can at least help you until you get over there.
That would be most appreciated.
But that's one. The other one that I know of, there's a lot more people that I know for sure in that direction, but I don't know how welcome they might be to any of you.
Nim would just look over at everyone and be like, didn't we hear the name Odysseus before?
I was just gonna ask, like, does the name Odysseus sound familiar?
Something about it seems kind of familiar.
Okay.
Hard to say what. But
Okay.
The other spot Lorenzo would tell you is if you're looking to be around some more nature folk, Heartbrook Village would be the other spot to go. You might want to talk to the
Okay.
leader over there. Her name's Samina. She's not the fondest of outsiders for a lot of different reasons, but you might be able to get a lead over there on how to get to the temple. But I think honestly, either way, you might be able to get there. Just depends which route you want to take.
By any chance, do either of those name drops sound familiar to me?
Not the names. Heartbrook, you know, is the quote unquote like main established settlement of the Primeval Garden. It's not a place that folks go to very often, and it's kind of a place that has a reputation for, if you are from the city, pray for your soul in terms of how coldly you might be received, because you have heard, because this has been the kind of thing for why Heartbrook has had this relationship for a while. Heartbrook used to actually be involved in shipmaking trade for Backfire, having a whole host of people who actually knew how to talk to the trees and sort of find areas that might of trees who might be best suited for such purposes was very useful for the kind of maritime work that folks in Backfire wanted to do. However, those relations have kind of grown sour in the past roughly 30, 40 years. And as a result, there's not an open resentment towards mostly city folk, but there is a suspicion that remains primarily based around previous political issues that have emerged, and also the associated often cruelty that a lot of city folk often bring with them when they come into the forest. A lot of them have tried to forcefully map the whole garden, and the garden has very quickly shown them to be full of hubris that was not warranted. But that's
But
the kind of information.
they're okay with other people from the garden.
Yes.
Okay.
So, but again, Lorenzo will let you know he's heard of a place called the Darrow River Pod, and someone named Odysseus who might be a lead, and he also knows that Samina might be a lead, but it depends which way you want to go. It's up to the party to decide which route they would want to take. And regardless of which route you want to take, you will have to either get through more of the terrain itself, or you will have to possibly take a detour through the swamp. Those are, as far as Lorenzo knows, the two main paths to go ahead.
Mm. And my lovely
Odysseus
little mind
just
wing.
seems familiar. That name seems really familiar.
It sounds really familiar. Plus I don't know if was it Heartbrook?
Heartbrook Village.
I don't know if Heartbrook will be particularly receptive to those of y'all who aren't me or Farron. So it may be a better route to take if we go see Odysseus.
Okay. But is that the one that has the detour or no?
The detours, that is also up to you. So the way it works is you have two sets of choices.
Mhm.
You can either try and get to Heartbrook, or you can try and get to the Darrow River Pod.
Okay.
That's one set of choices. The other choices are you can either deal with taking a detour through the swamp, or you can try and handle more of the natural terrain, which means more of the environmental hazards that the party dealt with last session. That's essentially where the two sets of choices come up. Where do you want to end up, and what path do you want to take to get there?
Honestly, I think
wanna
either
go to
way we should
Darrow.
try for the faster route. Just because I know our time is running a little short.
Yeah.
So
Darrow direct.
What is faster in the garden, though?
Well, if you are lucky enough to have two people who know the garden, definitely the direct route.
Which would probably be the dealing with the terrains.
Yeah.
The terrain, again, it's a lot more of like hazards that could just impede you or take some of your gear. And bear in mind, at least one of your party is down on a lot of equipment to handle the high humidity and strain of wandering around. The swamp will not be it will not be significantly easier, but you might be able to pass by Lorenzo's home and re-gear. That is an option.
Maybe we should re-gear then.
But swamp is water.
Yeah.
Okay.
I personally am in favor of Darrow direct instead of Darrow detour, but I will go with whatever y'all want to do.
Well, let's put it this way to the DM, or the guide. Do I think that I would be able to survive through the more direct route, or is
Through
that
the
just not
terrain or through the swamp?
through the terrain?
You could, but there might be some challenges just by nature of what you're dealing with that mechanically you would be at a disadvantage because everyone else has enough of the supplies to last them, but you.
What
You're
if
the only one
I
I think
were?
who has lasted.
What if I were to give her my equipment and just go through it as an animal the entire time?
You could. That is an option. That is a way to get around it.
Because I do have okay, so here's a question for you, right? Like, if I assume I would what I'll do is what I can do is I can demorph because I don't think I have access to my items while I'm morphed. I can demorph, I can give you my equipment, and then I can just spend the entire time in a form that would not have trouble with the terrain, as long as y'all are okay with me just being able to communicate with you guys telepathically.
Yeah.
It's weird, but I don't have any objections.
Yeah. And Lorenzo would also speak privately to Nim and say, if you're a little antsy about the water, I think I know a route I can get through a lot of the dried out parts of the swamp too. It might be a little rougher, but we could avoid some of that too if you got a hiccup about it.
It's really important that we just get there. I think if everyone wants to go to the Darrow River Pod, let's just get there as fast as we can.
Yeah, I think so too.
Okay, so going to the river pod, are you taking the swamp detour or the terrain?
Was Farron okay with that?
Oh, yeah, that's
I'm down with that.
Okay.
Okay, so Darrow River Pod, going through the
Darrow terrain, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
With that being the case, yes.
I'm going to demorph so that I can give How my pack full of the items that I own. So everything that I have is now in your care while I'm animaled up. Um, and then I will shapeshift back into. I think what I'll do is like. I'll wait to shapeshift until we actually leave, but
Yeah, we can rest and then.
yeah.
True. Okay.
Cool.
So, with that
Um,
being the case, we have a party who has managed to survive an encounter with some fearsome creatures of the forest with lasso of truth and smiting things, and some hiccups with shaping, but also the arrival of an ally to hopefully guide the group through this area. And the party has chosen a new route from which their guide will help them get through to hopefully find someone to lead them to the Forgotten Temple to Zahara. And that, I think, is an appropriate time for us to take a break for about 10 minutes because there's still a lot more going on that will be going on here, even though it's already been a bit of a hectic one so far. But with that path chosen, we'll be back in about 10 minutes and we will see you all soon as we continue this perilous journey through the primeval garden. So, thank you for tuning in so far, everyone. We'll see you real soon. Hello there, everybody.
Hey.
Welcome back to Plains of Providence, a Quest RPG campaign being played in a homebrew world of my own creation, where we're picking up once again with the party in the midst of the primeval garden, and them now deciding they are going to try and make for a community known as the Darrow River Pod, where a individual known only by the name of Odyssea potentially awaits them, with the means to get to their final destination of the Forgotten Temple to Zahara, the primeval maiden themselves. With that being the case, I must now ask the party how they're going to deal with the first of a few different obstacles. Now, bear in mind, this was originally going to be roughly 8 different obstacles you would have to get through among the among the natural terrain difficulties that could have been presented. However, you have a handy dandy lizard folk guide. That number will be cut in half, because many of the more mundane things, like the wasp nets and some of the rotting tree logs, will be very easy for someone with as much experience as Lorenzo demonstrates. He is very keen on making sure that especially Howdian is taken care of, because he knows that Howdian had difficulty with gear, so is trying to make sure that she is not hindered in any way with having to carry the extra stuff from Serena. But otherwise, he is sort of trying to keep good pace ahead of everyone, but his knowledge still cannot keep you, and his keen insight and awareness of everything cannot protect you from everything in the forest. So there will be, starting off, just 4 challenges. We'll see if anything else, depending on how they go, are necessary to just make things interesting. But for the first one,
are we getting a rest?
Yes. I will say you had enough time to what's called in quest regroup. So all of you have a total of 5 hit points that you can choose to apply to yourselves to heal up. Once you use them for today, you only have what's left over after you've used. If you use all 5, you have no more you can use today. All right.
During that rest, is Farron allowed to have a certain conversation with Serena?
Yes, you can.
Hey, that's me.
This guy just plop himself down into the ground beside Serena, who I imagine has a crocodile just on their lap.
Can that be a thing? Do I have a crocodile head on my lap? That's
Yes,
really cute.
you have a crocodile.
Oh my goodness. I'm going to be feeding it small bits of meat, small bits of fish.
Yeah. And occasionally you'll see Lorenzo will just pull a fish out of his bag, and he'll just chuck it in the direction of who you know is Alvinaroth, or otherwise known as Alvin, the crocodile. And the croc
you put my grandpa in this game.
Alvin will just be have their eyes closed, and then once it didn't even sound like he's paying it. It seemed like he's paying attention, and then all of a sudden, Serena, just from out of your lap, you'll just see him just go, and then just go back to being in your lap.
I'm just like, Farron, have you met Alvin?
Not officially.
Alvin, this is Farron, my traveling companion. I heard that about I don't know if we're friends.
Right. In fairness, I've known you all of 3 days?
Something like that. What's up?
So, you know magic, right?
Some bits of it, yeah.
Because I've always thought magic's really fascinating and kind of awesome.
You say that now, wait until it blows up in your face, but go on.
Wouldn't be the first time. Anyway, do you think you could teach me any?
I mean, I can certainly try. What kind of stuff are you looking to learn?
I don't know. I've got some sort of link to nature, being a ranger and all, but I've never really tried to go beyond that?
Well, things that I can do at least. I can change shape. You've seen that. I can make someone grow gills. I can turn steel into plant matter. I can turn person into stone. Um, I can do this, and I just mutter out a quick rhyming couplet to make the plant life around us grow just a couple inches. And I can of course set things on fire and freeze their balls off.
Now, that sounds like more my speed.
I figured that might be. What do you think? Fire or ice? I could teach you a
Ice.
song of ice and fire. Um,
I got stuck for a moment on you saying you can turn a person into stone. It's like, oh, so you can make someone rock hard.
I sure can,
I
but not in the fun way.
I
What
love
you're
my
into.
players. I love my players. I love my players.
Angela just being like, "Oh, don't kill them all." So you're thinking ice, okay? So remember how I think it was you. You got I think it was you. You got a little toasty up there in the trees, and I cooled you down a little bit. Was that was you, right? So you want to learn how to kind of do that, except more angry.
Yeah.
Okay. So okay, let me show you what it works like when it actually isn't supposed to just cool someone down. I look around, I find like a bird on a branch or like a rabbit or something, and then I just go ahead and I just like and let's see how that goes because it says roll the die, so I better not roll a 1. Oh, that's a natural 20. My first natural 20 of the game has been spent on a demonstration of how to kill a rabbit with frost.
You're terrible. We're gonna put
I
animal
am
cruelty into this content warnings now.
And yeah, so that's kind of more along the lines of what you were looking for. Does that sound about right?
Definitely.
Okay. So the first thing to keep in mind is you already know this, but all of nature is connected. Just like the tree to our left is intrinsically connected to one of the trees at the edge of the forest. That extends beyond just the forest. If you have a connection to one part of the earth, you have connection to all of it. Hey, guide. What's an icy place I can think of?
I mean, the mountains themselves, you've heard there's plenty of tales. The mountains typically
Cool.
have like periods, especially in winter, where at high altitudes there are like straight up blizzards that just come out and
Love
take over the
it.
area.
I love it. So you can feel the earth around you now, right?
Yeah.
Take that, take your consciousness, expand it. You need more than just the forest around us, more than Alvin over here. Hi, Alvin, bud. Oh, I love him so much. Think of the mountains. Think of the snow caps. Think of the chill air. Hundreds, thousands of feet up. It's all connected to just the earth. Gather the essence of the cold and project it out. And don't kill me, please.
I guess I'm gonna try and cast freeze.
Try it.
Oh no. That's a
Zero.
2.
Farron, I would like you to roll one more time.
Uh-oh.
Okay, that's a 16.
So there is a moment where, Farron, you feel like your very essence, you're being like you try and reach out to the mountains, and it's just I correct me if I'm wrong or if this isn't the right way to go about it, but like there's a moment where you're like the kind of cocksure attitude you normally have, like leaks in. It leaks in a little bit, but not in that kind, not in the way of like this is bullshit, but just more like what is
I got
what is she?
this. This is easy.
That yeah, that, but it's also a little bit more of like what is she on about? Like more that kind of range of it.
Yeah.
And there's you hear a voice that says, "This will not serve you if you wish to connect. You must let go of such things. Humility before nature will go much farther." And there's a split second where when you open your eyes, you see this radiant, beautiful being. It's like the very essence of wild, chaotic nature has manifested into an individual. A little bit stockier, a little bit more of a bigger individual. Like pauldrons and mantle of the very essence of autumn and vines and leaves, just forming this long gown. Hair that shimmers with radiant reds and greens and then turn into sort of the colors of like rot leaves falling to the ground, desiccated, rotting sort of to browns. Just long curls and braids. And when you first fail to try and cast a spell, your reroll represents this individual is going to try again. Try with humility.
If I'm just going to take a breath, like probably in the back of his mind, kind of realizing who that is and being kind of like, ah. That's the only way I can describe how they would react. It's just like, oh god, and it just like takes that energy he was searching for and just kind of pushes out, like with an open palm.
That poor rabbit.
And you see, like, you aim it in a certain spot, and you don't see anything come out. And there's a moment of like, shit, didn't work. But when you look behind you at the quiver on your back, you see one of the arrows has a faint blue aura to it now.
Oh, that's a new one. I do believe you just created yourself a magic weapon.
That's badass.
And
perhaps a little more subtle, I would say.
And you hear in your voice, in your head, Farron, just a voice just say, "I do aim to please."
Dang, God got snark.
The only thought going through Farron's mind is, Senpai, notice me.
Damn it. Damn it, Jace.
Cancelled.
Carrying on. So I love how this is a comment in the chat is just straight up, "Oh, actual God."
Yep.
Like,
Oh,
yes.
actual God.
So
Farron
that
is a simp for Zahara.
I mean, you know fair. Howdian, I believe you also had asked during a break in regards to the blade.
Yeah, actually that was I think Nim seeing Howdian drop the blade before would actually, because when they left, I think they had the Starlight Sword or the Blink Blade.
Yeah, I think Nim was the one holding on to it until Nim in game officially we gave it.
Yeah. Nim would kind of go over to Howdy and be like, here, just in case you drop the other one. I know you're down a little gear.
What does a blade look like? Is it very impressive?
It's it's a long sword, but carved along one side of it, it looks as though there are inscriptions that when you look at it don't are unintelligible and then seem to come change into I think it was that one was the shadow blade that we made, where it's as though if anyone's ever seen like the black color that I think has been shown in like science, where it's like light just does not penetrate it at all. One side of the blade has that, and then the other side has inscriptions that look as though they reconfigure to form astrological signs all across. And yeah, that's what it looks like in Nim's hand.
Okay. So I kind of look at it and I'm like, what is this? What what are you giving me? Are you sure you want to let go of it? This is a
Uh,
tool that I don't know if I must wield if you are wielding it.
no, I get this. Holds up normal hammer and rope. And just like also I have other spells. But Farron needs the bow, and I have a feeling that you need this.
I kind of like um I do like a bow and I say thank you. Thank you so much. And I take the sword.
Howdian, when you hold onto the sword, the what chat has helpfully offered me clarifying is called Venta Black segment
Oh.
of the blade. It changes color to a bright, vibrant red, matching your hair when enraged. And you see along the other side the inscriptions, the astrological signs change to crackle with what seemed to be almost energy like lightning energy. And you see written across it for for they who would face a monster. And you see on the very sort of like the pommel of it, where there wasn't before, there's an insignia. You see a face of a very beautiful feminine form, has a crown of jewels, of flowers.
Um I just kind of have it like this, you know. I'm not gripping the handle or whatever. And so I just kind of like kneel with it. And Nim would probably hear like at first like, "Oh my god." And then just like I bow like my head to it. I'm like how is thinking that this is a living creature. Like it's a just a being that has just like
Well, Cosma gave it to us, so
I
Yeah,
guess.
Nim, you don't see any changes. You just see what it was before, the shadow blade
oh, okay.
and the astrological sign. So it still looks quite magnificent, but it is not what Howdian sees.
I don't think
Yeah.
I know what Howdian sees anyway.
No, I mean she's not talking.
Yeah, she's kind of busy.
Yeah, and she
She's
well
having a moment here.
yeah she just kind of bows her head and she uh um uh because this this thing just like looked into her soul and like knew it knew what has been going on, and so she's like, this is some upper being that I I dare not serve, but I will. um and so she does like under her breath like go like, I will serve you and and treat you well. Do not worry. Um and then she just kind of takes it and just makes a couple swings. and then just hangs it on her belt, I guess.
All right. And with that, we carry on through the terrain
I guess.
to the first of many dangers. You see, there is in front of you, there is deeply unsteady ground, and Lorenzo stops and holds you, and he says, we either, if you want to try and get through this spot, we can, but I'd be very careful. The bog is quite acidic, and we might need to find another path, unless you want to try and get through here.
Are there trees?
No.
Damn it.
I'm gonna ask
Not,
like one
not
of y'all
all of
to.
us can do that, Farron. Some of us are, short and have little tiny arms.
I'm gonna ask
I've
one of
got a
y'all
big
to
head and little arms.
to translate for me since I am currently in giant cat form. But what other way is there?
Well, there's a few other ones. We could see if we could get through some of the muddier areas. One of the other spots, I know some of those massive vine creatures tend to go by, and there's another one of these areas that I know has giant fly traps in it. So
I'm liking the vine things.
okay.
Wait, like the vine,
The vine
like
creatures you fought earlier, not the humanoid ones, the big ones.
Oh, maybe not
mm-mm.
then. Okay.
Do it for the
okay.
vine.
Do it for the.
God damn it.
I ain't gonna do it.
Oh, God damn it.
Okay, so fly traps or mud?
I was
Because where
gonna
there's
say I
mud,
could
there may
take.
also
I
be
could,
quicksand.
yeah, I was gonna say I could take my armor off, but that I'd still have to carry it.
Yeah,
I mean, I can try and carry a bunch of stuff if y'all want to load me up.
I mean, we'd still have to go through.
Right.
Essentially, what I'm going to ask for here, either you can all separately try and come up with something you want to do, and I will need a d20 roll from everyone, or you can elect to go with one person's course of action, and they will roll a d20 to determine the overall group success. Essentially, you need to try and get through. You need 4 successes total to get through the terrain to the next area. This is the first danger. You could try and go through the bog, or you can try and go through one of the other ones mentioned.
I'm kind of voting for fly traps right now.
I'm also kind of voting for fly traps right now.
Either way, I think we should tie off and make sure none of us get split up.
Agreed.
Mhm.
Who's got rope?
I
Okay.
promise not to. I promise not to set it on fire this time.
I mean, until you dismiss it, the one you have currently still is on fire.
Well, that only lasts for an hour though, and I thought
Oh
we
wait,
rested.
you're right. Sorry, I was like, wait, is the
I
one
mean-
you have still on fire?
No, that's why I forgot about the hammer for like an entire hour, but that was when we were actually in the city and didn't take a rest.
I do have rope.
Okay, so you would be able
How
to,
is
like,
currently
tie each other up.
carrying it, but
We can work with that. Nim just looks over and goes, I used to be a stonemason. I'm really good at tying heavy things off.
okay.
I mean,
I just
I'm used
take
to
a
tying
rope and
things
I-
up, so
Where to go? I was like, God.
I mean, yeah, but usually mine are like boulders. Wait, that doesn't help. That. Never mind.
I mean,
Carrying on, carrying on, you group of ridiculous people. What is so fly traps? So
fly traps.
this is what you will see. You will see the ground changes. There's a lot more just flowers and plant life around, but you see dotting along the sides of the pathway are the big old man-eating like fly trap kind of things that lure in scents. Lorenzo cautions everyone that if you get anywhere near them, they let out an intoxicating scent that pulls you towards them.
Okay.
So this is
Okay.
your first challenge. What do you do to try and get around these?
I vote we just
Question.
run.
Yes.
What?
Ooh, how many? No, if I recast Sigil, the effect doesn't go through. If I recast Sigil, it won't. It'll come off of Farron, so the
Yeah.
Ravager. Yeah.
What
I
if we
could
just
cast-
run through it so fast and no one can hear us? That it doesn't have the chance to affect us.
That's one call.
Um,
Wind down.
sure. You know, fine. Before we do so,
Yeah, I want to hear
would-
everyone's stuff. I think that mine is definitely a very extreme one.
I mean, it's an extreme but a very good one. I mean, well, that's
I want to hear what
That's-
Nim was thinking.
that's what How says. I don't think it's very smart, but How is very much for the just go for it, you know.
Did you have a thought, Nim?
If we take a few steps back and stay not near the things, if I can take some time to cast Sigil again, casting it will remove it from Farron, so you won't have the protection against the Ravagers. However, I can cast it to repel like creatures and things that won't come near to the Sigil, or they may turn around. So I could actually just like write it on something we're carrying with us, and we can carry that.
My shield.
You also see that Alvin, the croc who's been following you, also looks up when you say that and has a big toothy grin.
I mean, yeah.
And
Is that a suggestion to-
raises a claw.
Was that a suggestion to carry it on, to cast it on the crocodile?
I
think it was.
guess. I guess so.
I should note for the record, the croc is its own NPC, is not under Lorenzo's control.
Love
So the
that.
croc just
And-
has their own ideas.
I very much love that.
All right, I think I'm gonna burn the AP to cast Sigil on
On
I don't
Alvin's.
know, because Howdian Shield is a good idea, but also the Serena and Farron can move pretty quickly, so if they have to save one of our asses,
Here's the thing. If you cast it on my shield, I can just hold up my shield. Y'all can pile up behind me and we can just like slowly but surely get through this.
I
we
guess
can
my question is. Sorry, go ahead.
I'm just, you know what, I'm gonna cast it on House Shield, and if we tie ourselves together, if shit starts to go south, how run?
You know what? Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
This is a terrible idea.
So
Yeah.
you start going through.
Well, first, before we do that, everyone like piles behind me and I just like turn around and I'll use Valiant Soliloquy. Spend 2 AP. And I'll go. Remember everyone, we're all in this together. You're all behind me and I'm behind you. I'm behind your backs. We can do this. We can get through this. It's gonna be just fine.
Wait,
How does that
Do
work
the
exactly?
things.
but if you're behind us and we're behind you, are we on like a Mobius strip or something?
No, I mean I'm behind you as
Oh,
in,
metaphorically.
yes, very
Figuratively.
much.
Okay,
Yes.
let's go.
I'm
Let's
behind
not think about this too much.
So, here's the thing.
The guy is choking on this idea.
Each member of the party gains the option to redo their next roll. So that's a thing.
So yes.
So if anything fails and you roll shitty, then you can redo it. So yeah, and then I just like I get into like a squatted position and I just like start going through.
A panther does not fit behind a shield, but I will do my best.
That's fine.
You as a group, you start going. It smells like the most intoxicating aromas you have all ever smelled.
I just smell catnip.
It starts, you all feel like you want to start moving, but so here's actually what happens. I need a d20 roll from everyone.
Remember,
Not to avoid danger, but to avoid the damage of clonking into each other repeatedly throughout this. Because what happens is you start moving towards them, and then the sigil like pinballs you back into each other into a line. So you're just doing this. So this is a d20 roll to determine how well you manage to deal with that effect of just constantly ping-ponging into each other.
13.
It's a 9.
with a
19.
reroll.
Oh, that's right. We have advantage.
Yeah, I mean, you can. You have the option to. If you don't want to, you don't have to, but you can.
No, I'm gonna.
Because mine
That's
was a 2
worse.
at first. Oh no.
Okay, so we take the higher one. Farron, what did you get?
19.
Okay, so you're good. How?
I got 16 with the reroll.
Okay, so everyone is good. But Serena, you will make it through, but you get. I will give you 2 options. You would either take damage, or you attract the attention of something else.
Don't give me this choice. It's so much fun. I have to make the fun choice, y'all.
No, you don't.
I mean, you don't have to, but I mean, if you want to, I mean.
I badly want to. We're just gonna go with I take damage.
Okay, you will take 2 points of damage overall from essentially what becomes you clanking your panther head directly into Hal's shield a couple of different times throughout this. You make it through this section. It's just a very upset cat.
You just hear like a.
But you manage to make it through this section of the woods.
I just go, sorry.
It's not your
Please,
fault.
many
I'm fine.
All right, that's 1 difficulty down. For the sake of brevity, I am going to lower the amount of challenges you have to get through, but the next one, you go by another. Now the trees have started cropping up again, tighter and a little bit tighter now. Don't. I see you, Jace. Don't even bother. Don't. And
We have to.
Lorenzo like stops everyone. Like,
I can.
Quiet. Do you hear that?
No.
And
Yeah, I hear that.
you see coming a bit in the distance, there are 3 massive ape-like creatures leaping through the trees, and you notice as they're leaping through, they each have 4 additional arms.
They don't need those.
Yeah, they don't need them.
They have seen us, but we need something to distract them. Somebody quick. We need something.
Yeah, I throw my sword like in another direction.
Oh, I have to do that.
Like the one I just got. I just throw it, I chuck it.
Oh, the one that returns to your hand.
Right? So
Okay,
I
roll
just
me a
go.
d20. Roll me a d20 to
Okay.
see how far away, and how well that plays out for you all.
Please. I ask of you, do not roll bad. Please.
Careful, they can smell fear.
18.
Okay. Cling, cling, cling. And you hear the sound of various whole trees being knocked down as the 3 massive creatures go stampeding off in a far off direction. How? Because you did such a good success. The sword just got thrown quite a distance away.
Amazing. I say go.
And it's like you managed to get by, and and you spot How in the distance. I believe to recall the blade as a note, it's 2 AP every time you do that. Don't forget.
I think so. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, don't forget about that. So mark that off. But God damn it, Chad. Donkey Kong fetch Nova. You see, as you're running away, you catch out of the corner of your eye one of the massive apes looks really happy to have the sword, and then that's about the moment when you call it back, and then it's like, and then the other two apes start pointing and laughing at the third ape, and then it just you just see the corner of your eyes you're running. It's just a brawl between the three of them.
Oh my god.
Oh, it's
Picking
just
fight with
a
each other?
D&D party fighting over a cursed object. I see.
I mean, you're not wrong.
I'm just gonna turn to Nims. Go. I got 2 gold on the big one.
It's just
I learned
dust
I learned
cloud.
my lesson betting against you the first time.
I just like telepathically project into your mind. Oh no way, the smaller one is gonna win.
Get fucked.
All right,
Oh,
Angela,
it's
which
still-
one wins?
Of course, it's the medium one.
You
Duh.
know what? You know what? I'm just because I'm gonna roll a d4. 1 to 2. The 2 smaller ones win. The 2 other ones win. 3 to 4. The 1 lone one wins. That's a 4. The 1 lone one won.
Shit.
You just catch. You see like as you lean back and you see far off in the distance, one is just standing over the 2 of them and just beating. Four of the fists are beating on its chest, and the other 2 top arms are just holding up each of them.
Just like, ugh.
Amazing. By the way, when I brought back the blade, it was me just saying with like just a small gust of wind just like blowing through my hair. It was like rose petals on the wind back to me, and then it just like comes to me.
Back in your
And I'm
hand.
like, wow, it
All
really
right.
does work.
Last
And
challenge.
leaf on the wind.
No, that's sadder. That's much sadder.
Well,
No.
I was gonna go with that, or leaves on the vine. Take your pick.
No.
You are a terrible person.
Absolutely not.
Do not.
You are a terrible person.
Do not,
Yep.
do not,
You
do
are
not.
you are objectively
I mean-
a terrible person.
Hold on. It is very applicable to How, though. She is
mean-
a soldier that has to come marching home sometime.
Yeah, but he didn't come
Oh.
marching home. He died.
Okay,
don't
pass,
threaten
no
me
more
with a good
sad. No
time.
more sad allowed. Oh,
Anyways,
how's not allowed to die next?
I mean, I did say if that didn't work out, I hope I died an honorable death. I did say that.
Okay, no more sad boy hours, thanks. I get enough of those from my own
God.
head.
Okay, carrying on.
Yes.
You see that there is what looks to be relatively plain looking ground ahead of you. And you see Lorenzo just like 1 second. Arrow hits one portion of the ground, and then you just see
Yep,
it
quicksand.
begins sinking.
There it is.
Damn it.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Whistles gets a bird nearby to follow. Hi there, sweetie. Hi. Do you mind if can I do this for you real quick? Yeah. Don't worry. Here, this will hurt just a second. Takes out like the end, tiny little bit, like edge fragments of like a blade. Just nicks the foot, just very gently. There. Not too bad, right? Think I can follow you? And you mind showing us the path? Thank you. He is going to use track to follow the bird, because once he has something marked down and knows it, he can follow it exactly. He's going to lead the group very gently and carefully. And just like slowly, slowly. If you make another crack back there, Farron, I swear I will let the bird drag us into a sinkhole.
Like, I could theoretically roll a dumbass dice right now because
If
Darren
you'd
doesn't
like,
do
I, as your guide, am not going to stop you.
Oh, he's a dumbass. That's a 3.
No, no,
Nope.
no, 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 no.
He ain't doing slow. He trying to go speedy boy.
Yep. Farron, roll me a d20 on top of that.
Oh god, that's a 4.
Yeah, so you make it across and you make it to where the bird is on the other side. But the bird, you see it like as you look at it, and there's a moment of like everyone's turns, and probably Farron is about to have another one of those like shit-eating grins. And then Farron, it's weird. Everyone seems to be getting taller than you. And you see the bird is like flapping above the ground where it was before.
Oh shite.
All right, where's the fucking lasso?
Roll a d20, Nim, if you want to try and pull Farron out. And we'll see if this becomes a comedy of errors on top of this.
Oh, I'm
Oh,
getting
no.
flashbacks. I'm getting flashbacks to the D&D game I ran the other night where this literally happened with all the party trying to pull someone out of a river. Ah.
18.
You're good. You managed to pull Farron out, and I will say, as part of the eating of crow, just kind of pull just a tiny bit too hard, and Farron kind of lands face into the mud, not into another part of the sinkhole, but like hits the ground and notices that the ground is starting to give away to kind of muddiness that you didn't notice before. Your hair is full of mud.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
To be fair, they stepped in that shit first. You were just saving their ass.
Yeah, but I didn't.
Lorenzo just pats you on the shoulder. They gotta learn. They gotta learn. Sometimes it's the only way they do. I think he calls out to Farron. I think this settles us up for now. If you follow this path ahead, this should lead you roughly where you need to go. I believe this is the most recently known path to head over. Just look for the giant oak tree and just keep on heading on. But wishing you luck. I gotta get home. I have stew waiting for me and very sweet turtle folk waiting for me as well.
Who's Stu?
Aww.
Is he cute?
His name is Orville, and yes, he is.
Real cute. Oh my god.
And just starts walking back. It's like try to only die somewhat if you can. Forest will only somewhat remember you.
Well,
do our best, I guess.
yeah,
It's encouraging.
I think he only says it at Farron. To everyone else, he has a like nice smile, but to Farron is just like this is the humbling Farron session.
You know.
It will last for one session and one session only.
Exactly.
I mean, here's the thing. What with asking Serena about cold magic, they've got to just cool down. Don't give me that. I know you're amused. And I scared them away.
But so the party is able to carry on, and the forest gets significantly easier to traverse. But you notice, with all the time that's passed, it's starting to get near nightfall. And a little bit in the distance, you start seeing these very faint little blue glowing lights, like little orbs of light just flitting about through the trees.
Do we know what they are?
I don't like that.
Roll me a
Night
d20.
wisps? Sure.
I'm immediately like, oh, I've seen those before. Before I was with you guys, these were all over the place, or at least two.
15.
You know, Serena, that there are at times when a soul is not allowed to lay at rest and be at peace. It will, especially in the forest, manifest as something that is attached to the mortal plane. They are known as echoes. They oftentimes are the fragments of what remains of someone's last will, made manifest and real.
And how many are there?
What starts off as 4, then becomes 6, then become 10.
And do I know if they are if these echoes are tied to the location where the relevant person died, or is it just kind of like they all ended up here?
Mostly, it could be either or. It's very unclear.
I'm just like, y'all, there's some spirits here.
Are they
With,
dangerous? Do you know?
That's a good question. Are they, guide?
I will say your success only nets you. You know what they are. You don't quite know the
Okay.
danger. I would say that is a separate roll of information.
Okay.
If you would like to try.
I was
Sure.
actually gonna say if Nim is an invoker and has had to deal with these things, or like,
I would say Nim's knowledge will let you know that you don't. It's not a definite answer. It's could be, but it's not
so
clear. Yes, some of them.
it's a
at times been known
gamble.
to be violent.
It's
Yeah.
a big
Okay.
gamble.
Yeah.
Probably to do with their nature in life, I suppose. In general, if there are this many in the same place, I would imagine they're there for a reason. Should we check it out?
I just go, I'm down. Sure.
If there's this many in this area, then it's probably like a graveyard or something.
Right.
Even cooler.
No.
I mean, we should be respectful of the dead. But
Shit. That's why we're not attacking them, nor talking to them, nor saying anything. If we just go on through, just don't pay attention to them, right? That's good enough.
Can we find a way around? Farron, you're good at finding things in the forest.
I'm sure we can find a way around.
don't be suspicious.
Sure.
Don't be suspicious.
They all are. It's like a little swarm, and it's beginning to move in on your location. What are you doing?
Nothing. I just stand there. Unless everyone else is doing something else. I'm
gonna
like,
make some bad choices. Actually, you know what?
Eat one.
I'm gonna pull a Jace and see if I make some bad choices.
Also, it's not just Farron that has dumbass dice then.
I make some bad choices. I'm going to kind of like move up to a cluster of them and just kind of like turn on the purring and kind of like sniff at one.
Mm. 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 Mm.
I will let it do what it will. Any malevolent feelings I'm getting?
As you get close to it, and when you do the lick, you feel two different things. One, you feel like a memory of someone who got lost in you see someone like running through the forest and like trying to figure out like they're very harried. They're just like looking around, and then they see like something that looks like just a very like beautiful plant, and then they look up and they didn't notice the top part of the plant, and you see the same fly trap from earlier, and it just gobbles the person up entirely. And you also see as your tongue actually connects with it, you feel a zzz, and it's like you have full body shock. You take 2 damage.
Okay.
She took this one for
Just
the
kind of
team.
hear just like a small yowl.
Oh.
I'm just like, they sting.
Yeah, how
Okay,
about
well,
how about offer people looking just out of curiosity? Did other people heal up?
Yeah, I'm back to full health.
Okay, cool.
I'm on cat health, so we're good.
Nice. So I'm
Just
just
like, y'all,
okay,
they sting.
yeah, I'm like, okay, don't touch them, but we're just gonna like move past them, be respectful, and then just like maybe set up camp somewhere else. Yeah.
Yeah, with that idea. Cool.
So I just like go in a big like half circle around them.
As you do, Howdian,
Mhm.
you notice a figure appearing somewhere off in the distance,
Okay.
and it's like a swarm of a smaller little cluster of these little echoes around them.
Oh, that's a
You
necromancer.
you
Fun.
see as they get close, the individual is wearing very beautiful, almost like silver toned clothing. Looks more fit for casual everyday wear, and some of it looks almost like it's pretty suitable for like swimming and such. The individual's hair is golden, like a beautiful tone of the metallic gold. The skin is a deep brown, very reddish. Wide, flat nose, very beautiful red cheeks, high cheekboned, red lips, eyes that are heterochromatic, and you see behind them, to their back, it's almost like butterfly wings. And you hear very faintly as they approach. And all of the little swarms, they look like they calm down and like they're following around the individual. And you see them walking
Jason's got their
towards you.
pencil drawn.
That's like the moment they appear, Farron's like reaching for an arrow. The moment they hear the singing, the arrow is out, nocked, and drawn.
Okay.
Pencil
The
is mightier
individual
than
is
the
just-
sword.
That is not a euphemism.
Yes, it is.
You made it one.
That timing. Anyways, the individual just keeps drawing closer. It looks as though they're dead set on moving towards the swarm that has been approaching your group, particularly the one that's near Serena.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, should we move maybe?
Yeah, we should probably move.
I don't know. I just kind of am mesmerized by this person.
Yeah, Nim's gonna be like kind of tugging on Howard's like wrist or something, just being like,
She does have a cloak.
I'm
But
gonna do like the cat headbutt, being like, "Let's go."
I just kind of I snap out of it. I like turn around. I'm like, okay, cool.
I will note, because I'm certain that Jen and Inez will care about this, and probably Gavin to a certain extent. They are very beautiful. Like, they are
Of course
absolutely
they are.
radiant.
Reading me to filth. Okay.
Of course. they are.
I know my players.
You know, I have a crush on one particular star elf, and that is it.
No crushes.
You can just say Erebos.
Sees radiant butterfly winged individual. One crush.
One crush.
Exactly. But I do say okay to my friends, of course, but I'm also like, but what if they can tell us the direction we need to go in, or maybe they can help us find the temple.
Or maybe
If
they
you're-
killed a lot of people that are right here. Like, we don't have to. Most of the things in this forest want to eat us. Let's kind of not.
Meanwhile,
I'm
Farron's there. It's
inclined-
like, ha, my gay ass is immune to your charms.
I'm
Oh no,
inclined to agree with
only
Nim.
Nim had one person that they were mildly attracted to, and that was Cosma.
I mean,
I'm inclined to agree with Nim. We're doing okay on our own. I don't think we need someone else's help though.
I
Farron.
don't trust singing fairies in the middle of the night. They can sing to spirits.
Let's I don't know, Serena, Farron, is there another way around?
I'm sure we can find one together.
As you've been talking, the individual has gotten within earshot of Serena, and she just keeps singing. She just keeps singing repeatedly.
I mean, it sounds kind of soothing, you guys.
Does it sound familiar at all?
It's like a lullaby, like something that would be sung to a kid. And as that happens, you see a few of the little orbs of light go to their hand, and you hear them speaking. Hello, dears. I'm sorry you've met with such a terrible fate. Do you wish to move on? And you see the orb of light just move a little bit, and it like bounces up and down, almost like indicating a yes. Carry on, dear. We'll see to it that your grave is respected and you have a place to rest in peace. And you watch as the lights for several of them dim, and they turn more of a yellowish tint, almost like little bits, nodes of sunlight, and they vanish.
In the mind link, I'm just like, I think this one's friendly.
See, I told you.
Do you think
I
this
don't
one's
fucking
friendly?
think so.
Do you think this one's friendly, or do you think this one's pretty? Because those are two different things.
No.
Cool the fuck out.
Also, Nova, I can neither confirm nor deny that reference that you speak of.
Oh yes, the Legend of Legend.
Yes. I just look over at Nim. I'm like, how dare you? She's very nice.
Well,
Oh,
here's the thing.
Am I wrong?
She's helping these things move on.
if I get stuck here, I would like to be helped move on.
Okay, she's helping these things move on. That means she's incredibly powerful and not to be fucked with.
No,
Or
well,
fucked for
she
that
knows
matter.
Or she knows where the shrine is. Okay, tell you what. I want to go see her. If she kills me, that's fine. Y'all can run.
how about we do that, but we do it with me, because that's fine.
No, because I probably can't pull back as easily, but I can put a leash on
Are you
Serena.
lost?
That's...
Oh,
That's not what I meant.
Are you lost?
oh, well, not really, but we did capture your presence, and we were kind of respectfully looking. I am looking respectfully.
Respectfully, looks to Farron drawing a bow.
Yes.
I just like approach her very slowly. Just kind of like,
My apologies if I caused some fright. My abilities are not often met with approval by many, but it is a necessary task, especially for those lost in the forest.
Yeah, I can understand. I mean, if I died and I would stay here, I would want to be like go on, you know. So you're doing a great thing.
Well, thank you, and my apologies for my lack of manners. My name is Odyssia.
Oh,
Yeah.
hi.
Um, I'm what's known as a soul guide. You might know that there's a more common term for it known as a psychopomp, but I prefer soul guide. The dead often need a companion to lead them to the end of their course, and particularly those who are restless. And I've often found song is the most relieving for many of them.
Well, that sounds lovely, and your singing did sound lovely as well.
Well, thank you.
No problem. Anyway, um, uh, it's funny. We were actually looking for you. Um, so that's
Oh.
cool.
Well, wonderful. Are you, and sort of turns to Farron, like acknowledging the arrow that's been pointed at them. And
It's no
she,
longer drawn. It is knocked, but not drawn.
Okay.
Oh, so it's
Um,
just at
I-
their side.
I would imagine you were the individual who let off the signal some time ago.
I am.
Oh,
Yep, there it is.
let me reassure you. And sort of points their hand in one direction towards a tree where there's no spirit in sight. And you see this greenish sort of energy coalesce in their hand and fire off and hit the tree. My apologies. I had hoped to signal through some other means, but that was the only way I had. Yes, I did happen to notice that you had noted, had looked for someone else. I imagine Lorenzo was the first one to take note of your signal. He often leads many wayward souls through here whenever I am unable to do so.
I'm gonna decat.
Okay, so does that
Okay.
mean that you know the way to the Temple of Zahara?
Oh, are you interested in finding the temple? There are not many souls who
Yes.
often go there without incurring great risk.
Well,
We're
some of us
good
are
at
interested
doing
in the
that.
temple. But we're mainly here just because we think there is a risk to it, and we would like to get there ahead of that risk. I am decatted. I am not just meowing at her. Just so y'all know.
Meow 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 meow.
Well, I think it would be best. The spirits here are calm for now, but I imagine many of the souls who linger may still be quite angry if we travel at night, and there is a much larger risk around here should we happen to travel at night that we should do our best to avoid. And you do hear off in the distance the sound of like a loud roar. Like a,
Do you have a bunker by any chance?
we, I believe some of the other locals at Heartbrook refer to it as a venom troll. It is.
I don't like that name.
It is known to spray out acid from its own stomach, and it is quite resilient as a creature. I often try and avoid it myself, and I think for our own safety, it would be best that we try and get somewhere more away from this. I can take you
Good
to my
idea.
home.
Agree.
I can take you to my home if you would like.
If we wouldn't be too much of an imposition, of course.
No. This is what I and my wife do whenever we can.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much. Let's go. You see?
Yep, let's get out of here.
You see how is like gripping her sword, but she's like more nervous than normally because it's nighttime.
Also, I'd like to point out the Nova's cursed post in the
Hold on.
in the,
Which
in the
one?
Twitch.
Hold on.
The last one in the Twitch.
Troll bar.
Troll bar.
Gross.
You are an interesting person, Nova.
I regret to inform y'all that I will be quitting campaign effective immediately. Goodbye.
My decision was made in haste and for self-preservation, but
Which one like that?
for self preservation, let's follow the nice psycho. I can't believe I'm doing this.
Psychopomp.
Gods, I can't
Yep.
believe I'm doing this. This sounds
Yep.
so bad.
She has fairy wings. It's fine.
That does not, that makes it worse, I'm pretty sure, but yeah,
How-
okay.
For me, that
Why
makes
are
it
you
better.
so blind?
it's a little bit ableist terminology right there. I am going to note that.
Sorry.
Blind is a derogatory term. No, it happens. There are minor things that come up, just
Yeah.
addressing it. But the end of it, Odysseus responds, and they say, "You do know that I can hear you. I speak with the dead. It also doesn't mean I don't listen very well."
I'm kind of wary of people that can talk to the dead as a point of procedure.
No,
We've
that's
had some
understandable.
concerning run-ins.
Well, I'm sorry that life has given you such burdens. Why don't I offer, again, I will show you to my home, and I will do my best to win your trust if I can. I do not wish to bring you harm. I only wish to fulfill my role in the forest, which is protection.
Don't look at me. I trusted you first.
It was me.
This is now we're gonna fight with Nim is just like we're
It's not
okay.
yeah.
I'm okay. We'll do this.
Let's just go. Let's go and not get eaten by troll barf.
Yes.
And they carry on through the individual. Odysseus just sort of very casually, not quite floats, but it's very like Lady Galadriel sort of walking, like just carries himself with such a like
Kind of like
very-
glides.
yeah, kind of. It's not like you see movements being made, and there isn't really. She's not wearing like footwear of any kind. She just seems to be walking through a lot of the ground without any difficulties.
Oh, she's just Galadriel.
Yeah.
And you, as you carry on through the forest, you pass by a massive oak tree. And as you do so, you arrive at a new location. Let me see if I have the full description. Where
Stay still, my gay beating heart.
Where are the celebrities? Where are there they are. And you see that there is a quaint but thriving community here. Some humble homes of various humanoid individuals who seem to have three distinct subtypes of one overall category of many humanoid individuals who, as you get closer, many of them seem to have teeth that are kind of gummy and bigger. They have almost like wet, flippery kind of appendages for where their hands are. And some of them floating around through the water, you see a top half that's humanoid and a lower half that's like a seal.
Baby, love them.
And you see that a lot of the three main body types, there are some who are a little bit chunkier side, shorter, and a little bit smaller, who seem to be more inclined to singing and are in the midst of crafting what look like various kinds of pelts and skins into quilts. And it looks as though some of them are coming back from with a whole huge amount of fishing poles. There are some individuals who have a little bit more varying shades of dark brown fur to their coats. As you see, they're a little bit more blatant in the seal-like features. And they look as though they're in the midst of carrying bows. There's some short swords. There's some basic knives and weapons. And you see a little bit far off, some of them look as though they have crystalline objects and they're attaching them in various forms to bits of armor. So even when they're just plain leather, it looks as though there's almost like magical tinkering work going on. And then you see the last group are darker gray, their fins with black and white rings to them, and they seem the most seal-like in their features. But common to all of them, you see what appears to be a seal skin wrapped around their waists. and Odysseus just sort of like gestures, and you note that this community there is a massive waterfall at the edge of it to a big pool of water and a river that flows through right through the center of the area. And the homes are just sort of split off into little like cubbies where the river just sort of splits out. And it's not rushing right now. It seems to be just very calm. And Odysseus lets you all know, welcome everyone to my home. This is the Darrow River pod of the seal folk of the Selkie.
Okay, better than I expected. Sorry, Serena.
It truly, there was in fact a creepy death death adjacent lady in the forest singing to spirits. It is understandable that we would have suspicion.
What? That's how normal?
Sorry. I just heard her like,
As-
sorry, we just had some experiences recently and we're
no.
a little on edge.
Most individuals are rather afraid of death and all that relates to it. It's a rather common fear, and
It's
that's
the natural cycle of things. It's more the things that are not so natural that we fear, at least this week.
well. I'm sure we can talk about it. I'll lead you to my home, but welcome to the Darrow River pod. I'm happy
Thank
to
you.
have you here, and I will show you to my home, and I will introduce you to my wife. And that is where we are gonna end the session for today, as the group has arrived at the Darrow River pod community of the seal folk, the Selkies.
Yay!
I love them.
They're so cool. See, the death lady was fine. She's fine.
I was just gonna play that out, and I was like, if you attack Odysseus, okay, you lose your only other guide to you lose your first guide to the temple. I'm like,
I was that close.
no,
Yeah,
it would have made sense. It would have made sense. But we're at our time cap. So with that being said, thank you everyone who has taken the time to tune in and watch our group manage a water pond encounter, a race away from vine humanoids, navigating this forest and seeing a gay married lizard folk, and then meeting a gay married angelic being of some kind with butterfly wings, and now arriving in a seal folk community. So that is where we're going to close off the session for today. I'm going to let everyone go around, give quick who you are, where folks can find you. Just, shoot shit. Talk about like where folks can find you.
That's what Farron does.
I mean, basically,
Yeah.
always.
I guess.
All right. Heck it. Hi guys. Hi guys. I am Jen. Again, pronouns she, her. I have been your lovely, increasingly local, sometimes friendly naturalist, Serena. I can be found on Twitter at Jenburb, JIENBIRB, not to be confused with Fireburb. That's Angela. But let me think. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, I also play. I play a lot of home games, but my other streamed game is on Saturday nights from 8 to 11 p.m. EST. It is called Plot Hunters. We are sometimes functional. Usually we're just idiots. But usually we're just very foolish. But we can be found at twitch.tv/plothunters. Other than that, that's me.
Next up.
Hey everyone, I'm Jace, pronouns are they, them, and I have been your cocksure and rather reckless ranger, Farron. You can find me on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, basically anywhere on the internet where you require some sort of handle or URL at AceTrainerJace.
Nerd.
Okay, I'll go. It's fine.
Oh, sorry.
No, it's fine. Hi, it's me, your friend Ines. I had such a fun session today playing once again the buff elf, who very much likes the death lady. She was very, very hypnotized. Anyways, you can find me on the whole internet, the whole of it, everywhere, on at Inez666 or put an underscore behind it, whatever works if you don't find my face. I do Twitch streams here and there. I'm trying to get back into it now that my mental space is a little better. Um, so at NF666, also over there, I'll either be talking to a camera or playing some games. It's very fun, very, very cozy, very good, very cute. So come hang out. And yeah, keep an eye on my Twitter for future projects. Black Trans Lives Matter, Black Lives Matter. I love you. Take care of yourself.
Hello, I'm Gibran, they, them, AR, and I play Nim, the awkward invoker. And you can find me on Twitter at Syrlaidre, which is SYRLAIDRE. Don't ask me why I picked that name when I can't spell well. And you can find me other places at that handle, and also Keldy on Twitch, where I occasionally do more calming streams and art streams, and also Keldy Smith on Facebook, which is KELDI.
And hello there, everybody who has tuned in to our delightful crew of players here. Some more reckless or like quick to the draw than others, and some perhaps more trusting. I'm Angela. I've been your guide. I use she, her pronouns. You can find me on Twitter at Phoenix24Fem or on Patreon at The Philosophem, where I'm a professional poet and writer. And I now, as of this past weekend, have approximately 141 poems posted up there, half of which are available for public viewing, and the other half are patron exclusive. I am also a musician for hire, and in addition to being involved here on Mondays at 2 p.m. EST to run Plains of Providence, I am also now on Sundays, weekly, involved over at All Nerds here at 3 p.m. EST in a City of Mist RPG campaign called Royal Flush, a Wild Cards Adventure, where I'm playing a death doula who has the embodiment of a god of rebirth and death inside of her, which is, it's me. It's all the time. It's just what I am. And I am also this Friday over on Utopia. I believe it's going to be 9 p.m. EST, somewhere around there. I'm going to be continuing our Chimera RPG stream, where I'm going to be playing a transillusionist who also may or may not be mentored by fantasy superhero Zatanna's Scarlet Witch, John Constantine, Poly Network stand-in characters, because that's also my vibe. And yeah, if you don't see me here, you'll see me on All Nerds here or Utopia on Thursdays, where I'm either on panels or one-shot games. So yeah, I do a lot of things. Oh, and I'm also working on my own game, inspired by Descent from the Queen and the Winnie the Pooh story, Search for Christopher Robin. So yeah, that is all the stuff that I do. I think I do a lot of things. I forget most of them, but that has been us here at Plains of Providence on Heroes Without Limits. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in. Love you all. And as always, take care of yourselves. Black lives will always matter, regardless of what anyone will tell you otherwise. Trans lives are always valid, matter, and are awesome. Fuck Nazis. They can go to hell. And also, do whatever you can from wherever you're able to. You're always valid and you're always capable of doing something, even if it's small. Love you all. Take care of yourselves and keep going. You got this. And don't forget your meds. Take care, everyone.